to plot 10A. We've decided we're going to move the compost bins that we put there last year, so they're not too established, but they're taking up a nice sunny corner spot. So we're going to try and attempt to build a fruit cage and grow some fruit canes. We're also going to try and move the little pond that we've got, because again it's taking up valuable growing ground and they're good for wildlife, so we're going to try and move it to just a different spot in the allotment.
Unlike us, you want to find a permanent place for your compost bins, because once they start to get full of organic waste, it's very difficult to then move them. Lucky for us, our neighbour was doing some building work, so he gave us these pallets. They're great for making a fence, which we can grow things up. Now the plot's cleared, ready for the next step, it's time for a cup of tea. We pulled up the pond, got wet feet, and found some treasure. It's amazing what you find when you start digging.
For your throat's sake, smoke Craven A.
Well, we've all been a bit stuck with the snow and the bad weather recently, so we haven't got a lot done over the last week. We did go shopping and we bought our fruit canes, although I think we were probably a bit late because the shops were fairly bare. We managed to get a few that we wanted though, so I got 2 raspberries, 2 blueberries and 2 blackcurrants, which are fruits that I like to use, and we can make jam and puddings and things with them. I do like blackberries, but you can always forage for them anyway. We're going to get these into a makeshift fruit cage that we're going to make from an old greenhouse that we had in the bottom of our garden that got battered by the winds last year and has rusted a bit. So we're going to take the polythene off of that, bring it down here and make a fruit cage out of that, but it's a bit windy today and it'll probably get blown away. So this is the old greenhouse we had, just a cheapy greenhouse with a plastic cover over it, but the plastic cover's been repaired for about 2 or 3 years now and it's really seen its last days, and we've replaced it at our garden with a new budget range polytunnel, which you'll get to see later on. So we're going to put this back together, but not with the polythene on. We've just bought general use netting, which is bird proof, but obviously big enough that the pollinators and the bugs can get in and pollinate the fruit. So we've put the frame up with the old greenhouse frame. We've removed the ground sheet, weed control sheet from here to here, just to reuse it, to help prevent weeds coming up, because this is going to be a permanent structure. I don't want to be climbing in fruit bushes, have to weed around them too much. And then we're going to plant the fruit canes through the weed control with a little bit of compost in each hole. I'm going to use this frame for a structure for it to grow up and give them some support as they get older and taller. So we're going to try and put the netting over now, general purpose netting, and we're going to fix it to the frame with some standard cable ties.
Fruit cages are really popular on allotments, but it's always best to check your rules that you're allowed to have them. They're basically used for keeping large pests out, such as birds, squirrels, and sometimes deer. It's important to keep checking the netting for holes to make sure that small animals and birds don't get trapped within it. And then we were interrupted by a visit from Nellie.
Another one.
Don't you dig my parsnips up.
So we've put the cage up, we've put the netting up. It's not the prettiest of things, but apart from the, we used the frame from an old greenhouse, the netting and the cable ties probably cost us about £7 in total. So for the cost of under a tenner, it's not a bad start for a fruit frame.
After Nellie inspected our work and gave us her seal of approval, we could carry on.
So we've checked it for any holes. It's not the strongest of netting, so we can't pull it too tight. And the doorway, we're just going to tie some string around here just to hold it across. And the bottom, we're just going to weight down all around the edge with bricks and wood to make it secure. And that's about it. We're about ready for planting now. So I'm just unwrapping these carefully to try and keep as much soil in and around the root ball. And then we've just put some holes through the weed control netting, and we're going to just put a handful of compost in each hole and then plant these in the frame. So I'm just popping in some compost, just general compost. This is just the Asda one this year. And then just sort of firming them in. I'm going to probably just get some fleece or something just to protect them with a little bit longer, because we're still expecting cold weather and maybe a bit of frost. Nellie's not very happy today because it's raining quite a bit, so we've had a lot of showers, so we'll be getting this done and probably going home. Right, so really pleased we managed to build the fruit cage, get the netting on, and set it all up. We've put the plants in, so I've taken photos so I remember what's what and where, because I think over time some of the labels will fade and disappear. So we've got Malling Promise, a raspberry, Autumn Bliss, raspberry, two, I can't pronounce the whole thing, but it's a Patriot blueberry, and again 2 black currants, which again I can't pronounce, but it's something like Oyabin or Ojibin. I don't know. So I think it's a silent J, so we'll go with Oyabin, and I'll have a look and see about that. So it's absolutely pouring now, joy of gardening. So I've had enough, I'm going to go home in the warm for a nice cup of tea. You had enough of the rain, Nellie? Should we go home? Yeah.
We've just seen the first bee of the year, so spring is round the corner. Hope you're enjoying your allotments as much as we are. Don't forget to press the likes and subscribe, and we hope to see you again soon.